What's his name? Come on.
All right, on another episode with Nicholas here. Nice to meet you, bro, for the first
It's
time.
great to meet you, bro.
Like we were saying off camera, Maddie put me on to you. So, how do you know him?
Matty's a great guy, man. Me and Matt go back to like 2015
Wow.
or 2015 is when I met Matt, or 2016. Basically, I was at those socials,
Like
like
a party type.
the year 11 ones where I don't know.
Oh,
It's
yeah. Not the formal.
Girls get bored and then they're like, oh, formals next year, year 10 formals last year. They need something in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
So I went,
Let me guess, was he working there?
Sorry?
Was he working there?
Matt was working there.
Of course.
And then basically I went with someone like last minute, like real last minute. And then my mate was there, Luke Gilder. And basically I was sitting next to Luke, and Matt comes up to Luke and he goes, oh, I've got an event on tomorrow. Like I need a photographer.
Yeah. And
then Luke couldn't do it. And I've known Luke at that point for like a year or two through photography, but I wasn't doing it as a job. I was doing it more so as like, you know, when like you go like hang off the back of a train and go like break into rooftops and that sort of thing. I was doing that shit. So yeah, I was like 14.
So you know how to use a camera.
Yeah, like I was really like I could use a camera very well at that point because I'd been doing it for like 2 years.
Yeah. And
then basically Luke just turns to me and he goes, Webb can do the job. And I was sitting there like, what? And then Matt goes, where do you live? I go, Strathfield. He goes, okay, 6 o'clock tomorrow, I'm picking you up and you're doing the job. And I was like, okay, yeah. I just agreed to it. I had no idea. Like, I didn't know who Matt was. Yeah. I didn't know nothing. And then he picked me up. And then, I don't know if I should say the next part. It's pretty funny now.
Yes.
We get to the job. And at that point, like, we sit out the front for a bit. We're talking before the job starts. And like me and Matt just like clicked straight away. And then I start taking photos for the party. It was at a hall in Belfield. And then he turns to me and he goes, bro, like you full know how to use the camera. And I was like, yeah, what do you mean? He goes like, oh, like you know how to do the settings and shit. And I was like, yeah, like what do you mean, bro? You hired me. What the fuck do you mean? And he was like 20 minutes in, he goes like, you're hired. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you have a job for Encore. And then like,
yeah,
ever since, bro, it was just like, just being real close with Matt. It's just some crazy stories.
He's that type of guy. It's easy to get along with, eh?
100%. He's a top bloke, bro.
Yeah, he's the man. For anyone, just to make sure you know who we're talking about, episode 2, Matty George is one of the best blokes you'll meet. So yeah, he put me on to you when I was talking to him about the podcast and types of guests I want to get on. I told him I wanted to hit the music scene as well. I don't want to just stick to sports or one type of industry. And he said, he put me on to you. So this here's the next thing. And I had a look on your page. I like what you do. I like the vibes you give. So I thought, fuck it, I'll hit him up. So thanks for coming on. So you met Matt, obviously, like the social show. Are you from that area, that Belfield area?
Yeah, I'm a Strathfield boy.
Yeah. Where'd you go to school?
I'm a Trinity boy.
Trinity. So what are you doing now, apart from the music?
So now I started a new job after COVID. It's basically just to sort of fund the music and everything. So I work in a law firm in the city, basically doing post-settlement for mortgages. Yeah, that's like I just do that 9 to 5 now.
I like it.
Yeah, bro. Look, I came from a job that was like very intense. Like very. My last job was I did operations for NDIS. So I would organize services for people with disabilities. And like I would be talking, so there was like 400 clients and then 100 something subcontractors. And all day, every day, you're on the phone. You got to keep patient, you know, you got to build relationships with them. You're like, it was very rewarding, but you'd come home and you didn't want to do anything. Like you just wanted to pass out. Like it was tiring. So this job's a lot more. I listen to podcasts all day and music, and like I just zone in, get it done. And then by the time I come home, I have energy, go to the gym, do music.
And work stays at work.
Yeah, work stays at work, exactly, 100%.
That's good. It's always good to have something like that when you're chasing a dream. So what got you into music? How long you been doing it?
I'd say, so what's 2012? So almost 10 years.
Far out, really?
I have zero music theory. I don't know anything about music. I know nothing. Still to this day, I know nothing. When I was younger, you know, like you're a young kid. First, I started off playing the clarinet. I was like, I want to play the clarinet. I don't know what the fuck I chose the clarinet. You know what I mean?
And clarinet, you're a different
Yeah,
level.
I was a bit of an odd kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I sucked at that. My parents put on a VHS tape the other day. You know, when they connect the camera to the back of the TV. Bro, it was a concert.
Through school?
Yeah, it was for school, but it was like anyone who learnt an instrument went to it. Apparently, I couldn't remember. I was young.
Yeah.
Just a little chubby kid, and you know, you get all these people. They're coming up. Violins sound crazy, bro. When I say it, I was so embarrassed 10 years later watching that video. Like it was ridiculous. And then after that, I was like, I want to learn guitar. Guitar teacher told my parents to stop wasting their money on me playing guitar because I was that bad at playing guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and then I went to the prep school in Strathfield for Trinity. And then when you're at prep school, it's compulsory to try out for choir. So they put the whole cohort in a room and each boy stands up and they have to sing. And then the teacher will just go like, no.
What the hell? In front of everyone?
I got ripped. Sit down. No, like not having a bar of it. Like I was bad. I don't know.
That's
I was
crazy.
Like, yeah, it was pretty like,
pretty slack.
Yeah. Like I just thought like it was normal.
Yeah.
And then if it wasn't, it's crazy because this is where I think times in life, like God does things for a reason. So if it wasn't so then I had an operation. So it was a basic tonsils, adenoids out. Then during the operation, they mess something up that happens one in a ridiculous number, like one in 10,000 or something. Like it's a simple operation. 2 weeks later, I'm at home. After the operation, I'm chilling. I taste something in the back of my throat. Go to the bathroom. We have a basin that's about 1 meter wide and 30 centimeters deep. When I say I vomited blood to the rim, I was on the floor. I'm like 10 at this point. I'm 10 years old. I call the ambulance. I go to hospital. They don't know what's wrong with me. They think I'm fine. They send me home. A few days later, vomiting blood. I kept on vomiting blood. Like it was just pure red. Like, didn't know what happened. Sent me home. Next time, I vomited that much blood that the doctors were like, he's gonna die. And you have to make a decision now. He's got to get a transfusion, of course. he's lost that much blood. So my parents were just like, give it to him. I was 10, bro. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
I had the transfusion going in. My mum's going, oh, we'll get you a welfare chicken after this. I'm cheering. I'm like, chicken and chips, you know what I mean? Like, I have no idea what's going on. And but because, and then earlier that year, I fell off a four-wheeler. I had to get pins in my arm. So I missed like 90% of year 4.
All right.
So I go back to school, and I was already young for the year. So I'm the right age now, but I was young as well.
How old are you now?
I'm 21 now.
Me too.
Yeah, so I'm a 2000s boy.
Yeah.
Then went back to school, had a test like 2 days after I went back. I don't know how I did. It was that bad that the teacher called my parents in. She goes, I think he needs to repeat year 4. So I'm there like, no, I've got my mates, you know, you don't leave. So my parents were like, we'll move him over to the junior school, which is like, they have 2 primary schools at Trinity, because they wanted to separate me from my mates. They didn't want me feeling like they were a year above, and I'm still hanging out with them. And then when they go to high school, I'm still there. And like,
yeah.
So I go to the junior school, and I have to try out for choir. In my head,
After the transfusion, you were all good?
Yeah, everything was fine. Did the transfusion. They figured out that they nicked the blood vessel in the back of my neck, and that it was just squirting, like it'd open up every like couple of days, and I'd just vomit blood.
Oh, yeah.
So I did it. Everything was all good. So I went to the junior school, and I had to try out for choir. So I walk in thinking like, I'm going to get shut down again.
Yeah.
And I had to sing Happy Birthday. I won't forget it. It was in the chapel, and the teacher starts playing it. I start singing Happy Birthday. He goes, your voice is beautiful. You're in the choir. I'm thinking like, bro, this is a piss take. You know what I mean? Like,
and to you, there's not much difference because you don't really understand. Yeah.
Like I didn't understand at all. And then basically from that point on, I met a group of boys who started a band with in year 6. One of those boys now is producer for 1/4 Juice WRLD's album. His name's Sid Malik. So I was in a band with Sid. We used to steal the music rooms at lunch, and I'd sing. We had a boy called Ben who used to play drums. Crazy. The kid was like, it's like he had 30 years experience and he was 12 years old. He was amazing, bro. They were both amazing. And I still had no idea about music, but I just knew they would support me. And that's how I knew I was okay, because they would go, bro, like you're singing amazing and all. I'd have no idea. Then as the years progressed, I stayed. Unfortunately, those boys left school, but I stayed with music. And then the band like multiplied, started getting a few different people in, and then just like stuck with music from 2012. And then at the age of 17, it was 17, I made a deal with my parents, because once I hit year 10, I was like, fuck this. I want to leave school. I'm not having a bar of it. I was fighting with like my dad, like I want to leave. I don't want anything to do with it. Obviously, they're like strict Lebanese.
Do a
like
trade?
Sorry?
They say you got to start a trade?
Nah, they were like, you just got to get an ATAR.
Yeah.
That was their thing. Because my brothers, they're 99 point.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. So it's like I was the odd one out, you know what I mean? But they were like, no, you need to stay, get an ATAR. And I was just like, fuck. Anyway, I finished, I think it was year 10 final exams. And I was like, I saved up a bit of money from doing encore. And I went and I got a studio mic and an audio interface. And yeah, bro, it was like, from then on, man.
That was the turning point.
It was just like, it was just like when the moment I dropped that first song, it was like, the phone was blowing up. Like, you listen to it now, I want to delete it. I'd never delete it because it has a sentimental value to me.
Yeah.
But like, I had no idea what I was doing. I just YouTube, and then that's
Yeah.
it. And then from then on, it's crazy, bro, how life works.
Yeah.
Like, if that doctor didn't mess up that operation, I never would have done music.
Yeah.
Like, I never would have done it.
It's crazy how life works, eh?
Man, God's good, bro.
How many songs do you have out? I seen on your, I had a look on your YouTube. It was, I think, about seven on YouTube.
On Spotify, there's about, say about, I think altogether it's like 15 or 16 on
Since your
SoundCloud.
first one?
Sorry?
Your first one's on there too on SoundCloud?
No.
No.
First one's on SoundCloud. Sorry. First one's on SoundCloud, but Spotify has newer ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah, when I felt the quality went up, I went to Spotify.
Mm-hmm. And YouTube was quite recent, eh?
Yeah.
The latest one, All I Know, what inspired that?
I was in lockdown, and I just wanted to make something that was just a bit of fun, you know, like something that's a summer vibe, like you're sitting next to your pool, and then just something I could relate to, you know. And yeah, it wasn't anything in particular. I was inspired by an artist that I've been listening to recently called Mike, and I don't know, it just came out one night. The first part, one more shot as I laugh with my brothers, like that, I just wrote that down one day. One more drink is what I told my mama, but one more is all I know. Like that was just something I wrote down one day because I'm a bit of a gronk when I drink. Like, I always, like, you know, I'm not going to drink. I always take it a bit too far, but
Yeah.
my mum always puts it on me for it. So that was a line that just resonated.
Yeah. So it's your proper real life. I seen you have about, like, on YouTube and going off, you had about 7 songs in the last 3 or so months, which is pretty consistent. What's the workflow for like that? Is that a byproduct of COVID and being in isolation? Is you just pumping out songs?
Not really, man. You know, if I'm going to be honest, it was a byproduct of emotion.
Yeah.
That's it. It was like, it gets to a point where the microphone becomes your therapist. You know what I mean?
Just
like,
going through things outside of music and expressing yourself.
100%. Like, it's just, sometimes you feel like, okay, I can't talk to this person about it. I can't talk to this person about it. But, you know, like, you just express it through the music. And I think it comes out. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's just whatever you're going through in life, you kind of use the microphone as your pencil.
100%. Yeah, man.
It's crazy. What does it take to put out a song? It's like I said, 7 songs in 3 months. That sounds like a lot of work.
So, look, sometimes I'm writing, but most of the time I actually don't write.
No.
I'll get a beat and then basically, so I get my beats off YouTube. I have no production knowledge. I pay for a lease of that beat for a certain number of streams. And then once you exceed that number of streams, you pay for a bigger lease and a bigger lease. Then I'll freestyle over the beat, get the melody I want, and then just put in words from there. And then once I have a rough idea, like just what rhyme schemes I want to use, then I'll pencil it all out, record it, and then mix it and master it, make the artwork, then make whatever advertisement I need for it, make the Spotify Canvas video that sits in the back and plays, and then put it out on the platforms. So it's a bit of a process.
Are you doing this all by yourself?
Yeah, mainly. I have friends that help me with the photos, but all the editing and everything is, that's all done by me.
Far out. Self-taught. YouTube.
YouTube's the way, bro. YouTube's the best classroom in the world, straight out.
Far out. So obviously you're independent. You're not signed to anyone. Is that something you want to try and do?
Labels, man. Fucking you sign to a label, and the next thing you know, fucking your manager's dog's getting a cut, and like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a lucrative business for people that you got to have such a trust in them. That's ridiculous. And the thing is, in music, there's not a lot of trust. There's like, people are always trying to rip you a bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you just learn from the artists and the people before. And like recently, Young Dolph died.
Mm-hmm.
That's someone like, there's not a lot of music artists that when they pass, it affects me emotionally, because although I listen to them, there's still a detachment. I'm not fully invested in that.
Yeah.
But Nipsey Hussle and Young Dolph were two people that when I heard they died, it genuinely saddened me. Like I was gonna cry, because
Yeah.
like you look at those people, and those are independent artists. Like Young Dolph turned down $22 million because he
Seriously.
wanted to stay independent. Like that's the type of thing you got to stand on. You got to back yourself, because at the end of the day, you build a team around you, and 100% of the money you've invested is coming back to you. The label's not taking a cut, a manager's not taking a cut, the publicist isn't taking a cut, the distribution isn't taking a cut. It's 100% yours. And ownership, it's almost like land. The more you own, the wealthier you get over time.
Yeah. So did you say he built a team around him, and then he'll invest in whatever he needs to? So for example, like things like you're mixing, you're mastering, you're doing the artwork. Is that like a time cost you're willing to pay so you can have full ownership instead of leaving it in the hands of a manager? Because does it get to a stage when it's too hard to do it by yourself?
It's my fault, because I am a bit of a control freak and perfectionist, in the sense of I don't want anyone else touching it. Sorry, I don't want anyone else touching, you know what I mean? Like, it's my vision. So if I have the ability to create it, and because of my background in photography and video and graphics,
so you have those skills. Yeah.
So I just do it myself. It's not really even like a cost thing. It's just like, I'm a big believer in no one can portray your vision better than you can.
Yeah.
So that's basically,
What I really liked about you when Maddie showed me your profile was you had a post about the documentary. I couldn't find it on YouTube or anything, but when I saw that, I was like, is it on your YouTube page?
Yeah, it should be. It'd be one of the first or second or third videos.
Let me just have a look here. Just to make sure, because I wanted to watch it. It is too. I was looking at your homepage for some reason, and it only shows like 7 videos. When I click videos, oh yeah, 15 minutes of the best. But yeah, I saw that post. I'll watch it after this. Sorry, my bad.
No, that's all good.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. I was looking for it. I was like, fuck, I want to watch this. It's actually very interesting. And I think that's what you got to do these days, is give people an inside look. That was just very intriguing when I saw that. I didn't know nothing about you, but something I learned from this guy I follow, his name's Isaac John, or Ice on Instagram. He runs a clothing brand, and he always harps on like documenting the journey from the very beginning, and always documenting your life, and like it's very engaging. And then eventually, when you're at a stage where you may define as success, it's something to look back on, and it brings so much value for people following you. So what inspired that?
Look, exactly that, pretty much. But basically, I started noticing that there was a number of people following me and following the music who necessarily didn't have that insight. And I think the only way to build a solid fan base, so not just a fan base, but people who are going to buy the merch, people who are going to buy the tickets, people who are going to really stand by you, even when you mess up. You know, those fans, you mess up and they're in the comment section and they're backing you up, and like those diehard fans, it's not the music that does that. They have to have a certain connection with you.
They're invested in you.
It's crazy because like there's moments where you do think about giving up. Like it's hard. Like even recently, everyone started graduating uni. My voice messed up again for the third time. I felt down. I was just like, do I do it? And I just prayed. And I went to a Halloween party, and I'd never met this person before. And this girl came up to me, and I just prayed to God, and I said, like, what do I do? I don't have the motivation anymore. It's just my voice isn't working. Like I have to take a break, and basically everyone's in this stage of life, and I'm still just grinding it out for 1,000, 2,000 streams. You know what I mean? And a few days later, I went to this Halloween party, and there was this girl I'd never met before. She comes up to me and she goes, "You're Nick Webb?" And I said, "Yeah, this is the first time this has ever happened." And she goes, "Oh, I'm fangirling right now." And I was like, "Oh, that's like crazy." And then she goes, "I was going through a rough time, and I played your song on repeat and laid in my bed and cried, and you helped me through one of the hardest moments of my life." And like, I was at this Halloween party. I was pretty zapped, bro. Like I was a bit out of it, but like the next day, it hit me. And bro, like I was in my bed, I got emotional. I started crying, and I was just like, that's one person, and I haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg yet, and that's one person who literally has said, "You helped me through something, and your music helped me in such an intimate and personal way." I don't know what her issues were, but it helped. And then it was that moment I knew that God had sent that specific person and put me in a situation where he said, "You still got to keep going. It's not time." It was crazy, bro.
Far out. And is that what kind of inspired things like the documentary and to go all in?
Yeah, because at the time, look, I had been going out with this girl for about 2 years, and we had sort of had a rough break, and I knew I wouldn't be the only one who was going through something that wouldn't necessarily need the emotional support that music gives.
Yeah.
I just thought, let's just give the most intimate documentary and most intimate music possible that just came straight from the heart, and that's what I did.
Something different, especially starting out or early in your career. So not many people do that. They're either too afraid to put themselves out there, or they don't even think about it. But I think it goes a long way. Like I said, that's what caught my eye, so I'm keen to watch that.
I appreciate it.
Is there anyone in the music industry in Australia that you look to for advice, or that you think's that you're close with?
I don't really have any connections in that sense.
No friends in the industry?
no friends in the industry.
Mhm.
But I do keep a close tab on certain people and just what they're doing. Um,
Is there anyone that
yeah,
you look to as like a mentor or for advice that maybe not in the industry, or even if not in person, like online, someone from overseas?
yeah. Look, I always study, say Russ,
Hmm.
top independent artist, probably the biggest in the world. Um,
I feel
I'm
like a
always
lot of he's respected by a lot of music people, eh?
he's just he did everything on his own terms, and you don't get that in music. You don't. He built a fan base from nothing, and he's so transparent and open. And he built leverage to the point where he was able to sign the deal and get the terms he wanted. Like that doesn't happen, bro. These labels are like machines. They're big corporations. They're trying to wring the shit out of the artist and get milk as much as they can. And Russ was able to just walk in there and go, "What have you got to offer me? Because I don't need you at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm making $5-10 million a year. Like, what are you really going to give me?"
yeah,
So, look, I look up to him, and like I said, Nipsey Hussle was another person. There's a few people in Australia I always look up to. Even what there's a guy called Jalal, and he runs New Levels, and he manages Amani Scaff and Larissa Lambert and a few other artists. And I don't know him. I'm not no idea, but I just look up to the way he's sort of moving and the way he's running things, and it's really good. Like I see how he's building an artist and he's managing them well, and he has a great relationship with them rather than someone who seems to be in it for the wrong intentions. And it's always good to see that.
yeah. So everything, like you said, you look up to people, even if you don't personally know them, but it's all self-taught.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I remember watching a video, and I think it was Gary Vee actually.
Yeah, you follow him.
He's memed and stuff, but like he speaks some facts,
Yeah, he does.
and he said basically,
You got to see through. You got to. I feel like you got to watch enough to know what he's speaking about. If you're a first-time viewer, you'll be like, "What the fuck's this guy on about?" But
and
once you
people
watch,
memeing and shit.
yeah,
Yeah, he's on
once you
TikTok,
watch
and
enough of him, and you kind of see the point of view he's talking from, and see through a bit of um, the loudness, and you kind of
yeah,
get a good important message.
100%. And he basically said, in this day and age, you don't have to be surrounded. So in order to be successful 20, 30 years ago, you had to surround yourself with people who were successful. But he goes, you can put in your earphones and you've got a whole internet of people who can speak to you all day, and that will embed in your subconscious, and you don't need to worry. You can cut off the people who aren't there for the right reasons and people who aren't adding any significant sort of difference to your life in a positive way. And you've got it all now. It's just the internet's crazy, and to have that, that's the reason I surround myself with internet presence, because although I'm not a social media person and I'm not necessarily good at it. Like I keep my social media on an iPad in my room. I check for 20 minutes a day. That's why my replies were
Yeah,
so like staggered, because I don't have social media on my phone. I don't keep it on my phone. And basically all day it's just YouTube, podcasts, and just the right thing entering your brain, and it makes a difference, man.
all right. It's crazy you say that. Going when we kind of went to the full lockdown a couple of months ago, I just felt like fuck, I'm in the same place I'm in last year. Like I was just about to graduate uni, but I was in the same job. Nothing's really happening. And Gary Vee as well. I just went on like every day. I'll go for a walk in the morning. Gary Vee podcast.
Yeah,
Gary Vee podcast. I think I listened to like every podcast in the last year and a half. Him and a couple others, and it's just like even though I wasn't seeing anyone or really talking to anyone, my friends, mentors, or anything like that, it's just filling your brain with positivity, and the right message kind of changes the way you think.
Yeah, 100%. So what's your goal with the podcast now? Is it to build it number one in the world?
Nah, I don't really care about that. It's more to network, to meet different
Okay.
people like yourself, and to chase a job that I really want to get for a certain company that do
Oh man.
um podcast, vlogging, merch sales. So I thought if I want to work there, I've got to be able to have that skill set. And there's only one
Yeah,
way to learn is to do it. So I thought I'd start my own and practice editing, producing, making artwork for it, all this sort of things. So that's why I started. And along the way, I get to meet cool people like yourself. So it's a win-win.
that's mad, man.
That's
Nah,
off,
Notorious Experience is going to the top, bro.
thanks, brother. That's off the
Fuck
back
that.
of.
Fuck Joe Rogan, the fucking bald-headed elk-eating fuck, bro.
You don't like him?
Nah, I like him. I'm just giving him shit.
That's
Just,
off the back of listening to him as well during
yeah,
lockdown.
I
He's
listen
always
to him
talking
every
about.
day, bro.
He's the man. He's always
He
talking
just,
about you got to chase your dreams, and
yeah,
he always goes off at lazy people. Fuck
yeah,
them lazy people. I don't want to be around these lazy people. So
yeah.
that's what inspired it all.
Just fucking take vitamins. COVID doesn't affect you and shit.
Uh,
Nah, he's good, man.
he is
He's
the
good.
man. What do you think you need to take? Will take you to the next level.
I need to do advertising. I need to take my marketing way more seriously. That's something I've,
Just like your personal brand.
yeah. Sorry, testy pop. That's like the second testy pop I've had. But yeah, I just need to take everything to the next level in terms of marketing because I back myself with the content. I honestly do. I think the music's there, the content's there. Uh, it's just an audience now, and something's bound to hit, whether it
Just
be
getting
TikTok.
it out there.
100%, man. And that's the difference. That's really the difference between an artist who's signed to a label and an artist who's not. It's
Yeah.
the money factor and the advertising.
Yeah.
You can build an artist, but what are we building? Fake personas, and you're having people that, got the chain, they got fucking putting diamonds in their head and shit. Like what? Like people are drawn to that, but at the end of the day, man, like if what you do is pure and true, and people are naturally going to resonate with it because you're reaching them on a certain frequency and vibration that a fake persona or lies can't reach to them on. People resonate with the truth naturally. It's an ability we have as humans. So you can tell when someone's lying to you. You know what I mean? When you're in a situation and you can tell someone's bullshitting, it doesn't sit right. You don't know what they're bullshitting about, but you can just tell it doesn't sit right. But when someone's speaking the truth, it hits a certain part of us. And I think truth's the most important thing.
I guess you're on the right path of doing things like the documentary. So maybe you should knock out more of those.
Yeah, 100%, man.
But being in the music industry where going viral or getting yourself out there is how are you going to balance that?
It's still something I haven't mastered.
Mm.
I'm a very extreme person. I'm one end of the spectrum or the other end. I struggle to sit in the middle, man.
Yeah.
It's something that has affected things in the past, but on reflection, I wouldn't change it for the world, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm that person who I'm either going to the gym and I'm going to make sure I'm the fucking hardest person lifting weight in that gym and no one's working harder than me. Or I'm sitting at home eating fucking Pringles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's I guess you do need a balance in some things, and I'm slowly finding that. But when it comes to delusional self-belief, I think it's the best thing to have. I think Russ was on the Jay Shetty podcast, and Jay Shetty said, "What's the best quote you've ever been told? And he said, what if it turns out better than you could have ever imagined? And he said, what's the worst quote you've ever been told? And he said, be realistic. And that resonates with me because right now, man, I'm still sitting on the same number of streams. I'm still sitting where I started is where I am now in 2-3 years. But it's for some reason, and recently as well, I just have this feeling. I don't know if it's God speaking to me, the universe. People have different names. It's a higher power. It's a higher being. And I can just feel it within me. It's just bubbling up and something's going to happen, man. I have no doubt. It's crazy.
That's it. Self-belief, man. It's one of the most powerful tools. Talking about quotes, again, Joe Rogan, not him, but on his podcast, he had Naval. And bro, I think my favorite quote of all time is, he said, fuck, I'm trying to get it right. A man has 2 lives. One is his life, and the second begins when he realizes he only has 1 life. And when I heard that, I was like, why the fuck haven't I started the podcast I've been wanting to start for so long? But bro, that was crazy.
Those are the ones that send tingles down your back. You know what I mean? Shivers down your spine, and you just resonate with it so deeply.
Yeah, it just inspires change.
100%. And I guess it's good to say that nothing inspires change more than yourself. You've got to make that decision.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I used to be obese, overweight. I always used to tell myself, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose weight. You never do. But there's a moment where something in your head clicks. It's like a switch, and then you do it, and it's like nothing can stop you, man.
Yeah.
Like take for example now, I can't run. I can do maybe 5Ks in me.
Still a fair bit.
It's all right. It's not bad, you know. I'm still building up. But my mate came up to me and he goes, "You want to do a half marathon for charity?" And I was like, "How many Ks is that?" He goes, 22. I'm like, "Where?" He goes, "It's in Terrigal." I'm like, "When is it?" This was like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, he's like, 5th of February. And I was like, I don't know, bro. Like, and then I was like, fuck it. If there's a date on it, I'm gonna, even if I have to fucking David Goggins this shit and just fucking go for my life, bro, I'm gonna do it. And yeah, we're gonna post about it and basically try and raise money for men's mental health. And yeah, so now I'm just trying to build up my Ks, just trying to run, build up that lung capacity.
It's all consistency. Well, I've got a couple questions for you before we wrap up. What are your goals for the next 2 years?
Release high quality music, obviously. Really work and zone in on my marketing. Have relentless self-belief. Work on myself physically, spiritually, and mentally. And in the next 2 years, I hope to be a recognized name. That's the main thing. Even if it's not for music, even if it's in the podcast I start or through some other means, I think everyone has a passion in life and they have a purpose. And how you dictate your life is how you make your passion fit into your purpose. And I feel like so much good could be done in this world that isn't necessarily being done. Even if it's the smallest act of kindness, or if I'm able to financially secure an exuberant amount of money through music, because it's sort of like it's like a graph almost, you know. Music's very flat line and then it just excels up. That's how it sort of works. And you know, I'd like to retire my parents. I think they've had enough, bro, you know what I mean? And make sure my family's set, and then from there Like the goal's to be the best. I don't want to do anything if I'm not the best. That's how I am with everything. If I'm not the best at it, I don't want to do it.
That's the mindset you need.
Yeah.
What's the biggest learning so far?
The grass is always greener when you water where you water it. AJ said that.
I was gonna say
That's a cracker quote, man.
it was good, eh?
I've heard that before, but when I reheard it, and yeah, the grass is always greener wherever you water it. It's not always the other side, and I think where you put your time and energy, and if you give without the expectation of receiving, miracles happen, man.
That's it. That's 2, 3. Episode 5, if anyone's wondering, with AJ.
That's a great episode. That's a great
He
episode.
dropped some gems on there.
100%.
Last question. Pick one Australian artist and one international artist that you'd like to work with sometime.
Hooligan Heps.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Too many to pick from.
You know, it's always going to be Drake.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason is, if I was in a studio with Drake, bro, that's the best. Imagine outdoing the best on a song. That's how my mentality is. That's the reason I want Drake, because I want people to listen to that song and go, that wasn't Drake's song. You know what I mean? You know, when you hear Drake on people's song and they go, oh, that's Drake's song now.
Yeah.
I want to be on Drake's song and for people to go, that's Nick's song now. And
There's two songs I think of. One where he made a Drake song was YG, Who Do You Love? It's probably one of my favorites. He kills that. And then one song that wasn't his is the one with Lil Baby. I can't remember the name.
Indeed.
What is it?
Yes, indeed.
No, I think.
Yeah, I should do the schedule of views in my head and a hoodie, my shorty, a good in my life is a
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
He killed it.
Yeah. Having My Way with Migos is another one.
Well, that's that, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure to meet you.
I wish you the best. Thanks for having me, man.
I look forward to, I'm going to hit out that documentary tonight. I'll let you know what I think, but I look forward to, when's the next project coming?
Well, I get my voice checked out tomorrow morning, literally tomorrow morning. So if I get the green light there, I have shit lined up, bro. I have a lot of shit lined up, and I'm excited. And
where can everyone find you? I'll put it in the description, but
Spotify, Apple Music as Nick Webb. You'll see my head as the thing. I'm sitting at in my homemade studio. Yes, Spotify and Apple Music, all streaming platforms, Nick Webb. YouTube at Nick Webb. My Instagram is Nicholas Webb. Yeah, and I'd appreciate anyone who even had feedback, positive, not so positive. It doesn't matter, man. We just take everything as it comes. But yeah, I really appreciate it, man.
That's it. Thanks for coming on, bro. I look forward to seeing it.
Of course, bro.